Good evening. This is Sunil Sundaraj with njvarsity.rouse.com. I'm happy to welcome in Ramapo High School football senior running back Rich Sica in. Rich, thank you so much for taking some time out to speak with me.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, congrats, Rich. Said on just an outstanding, football career there at Ramapo High School. I said part of a team that was undefeated 27, in a row. I mean, just an incredible, number that you guys, I mean, so many accomplishments, back to back, sectional and regional championships. You've had some time now, a couple weeks now, to just reflect, back on your football career there at Ramapo High School. Can you just sum it up, what it's meant to you, Rich?
I mean, it's meant the world. It's been an amazing ride, especially with the seniors, all the kids I played with, and the coaches. We all got along so well, and I loved every second of it.
Yeah, I think 16 seniors on this team, on the 2020 team, is we just, before we came on the air, a very difficult year, Rich, with the COVID-19 pandemic and only being able to play 5 games, not even a full season, but just the opportunity to get onto the football field. Was that what you guys, especially with you personally and with the team, just that, chance, look, we get to, come back here, and try to finish up, on a strong note?
Yeah, we try to make the most of it because some places didn't even have football, but we try to make the most out of every chance we got to be with each other.
Can you just walk me through going into your senior year, and it said, everything was up in the air, but then once you guys got that green light, to go ahead, start practicing, and then just if you can walk through, just taking the football field for the first time there in early October, if you can just, describe that process, Rich.
I mean, it felt amazing. It felt like we had some normalcy back in our world because everything was shut down at the time, and just getting back on the field felt great.
It was tough to see, again, this 27 game undefeated winning streak, and, said, I mean, just a back and forth, it said duel with Riverdale, it said one of the rivalries, said that always people look forward to. But knowing that you guys had the state's longest winning streak up to that point, I'm sure for you guys, for the coaches, players, the school itself, is something, I mean, that you guys will always, cherish and remember, said for years to come, Rich.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'll take with me for the rest of my life.
I mean, you know what? You didn't know if you were going to have a game every week. I mean, it's very, tough. I mean, you see what the coach is trying to prepare for an opposing team. But how was that, just mentally and physically, for you, and again, the rest of the team, Rich?
I mean, it was definitely tough not knowing who we were going to play or if we were going to play each week. But, we just try to cherish every moment we were out there and just make the most of it.
What was that final home game that you played? What was going through your mind? Said knowing once said the final whistle went off, just again the emotions, knowing that everything they said now, you wrapped up as far as part of your with your football career, Rich.
I mean, it was a lot of mixed emotions. I was very upset. Obviously, it was coming to an end, but
Yeah.
I couldn't be any more happy with how it went my whole career as a Ramapo football player.
Mm-hmm.
I just loved it.
We talk about the last couple of years. I was just writing in my notes here, Rich, that you played with two of arguably the best quarterbacks that have come through, the Ramapo football program, A.J. Wingfield and Charles DePrima. And then, of course, we can't forget about the running backs. Last year with Jake Tyrone, the year before, what you had, Luca Ragone, it said, I think Anthony Sargenti. There are a bunch of guys there. Finally, it said here this year, you got to really be in that spotlight, it said as a running back. What did you learn, those, first, couple of years, especially starting, I guess, in 2018, Rich?
They definitely taught me a lot of things. I always looked up to them, especially JT. I was very close with last year. I mean, he was one of the most mentally tough kids I know, and he definitely helped me become the player I was my senior year.
Yeah. I said just a great run. I said again, back to back. I said sectional and regional titles. I mean, to be able to be to be a part of that, and then go to MetLife Stadium. Win again back to back regional championship games. I have to ask you about playing in those championship games. Of course, winning at home and then at MetLife Stadium, Rich.
I mean, it was something special. You always like my freshman year. I remember I was called up and I went to MetLife and we lost. So
Yeah.
I got a little glimpse of what it was like. But to actually be on the field and playing that game, there's nothing like it.
I have to ask you that, of course, about the coaching staff led by head coach Drew Gibbs, the rest of the coaching staff, what they've meant to you in terms of your development here over the last couple of years, and is it not only on the football field but off the field as well, Rich?
I mean, on the football field, they are the best at what they do.
Yeah.
But off the football field, I can call every one of them my friends. My running backs coach, Coach Espo, he's also my baseball coach, and
Okay.
I have one of the closest relationships I've ever had with a coach with him. He's taught me a lot of things just off the field and how to be a better person.
What is it about, say head coach Drew Gibbs? I mean, just what Coach Gibbs brings to the table. Maybe some of the intangibles that people don't see behind the scenes, but just like in the locker room, and then of course on the sidelines. I mean, what is it? I mean, just every year fielding just not a winning team, but a championship team every single year, practically. Rich, what is it about Coach Gibbs that you enjoyed the most? Playing under.
I mean, he just loves the game and he's always so positive. He's just always so happy to be out there, and that energy we feed off his energy every single practice, every single minute we're with him.
Yeah. Just going back to the quarterbacks, if we can start with AJ and then, of course, with Charles here, just about them, playing alongside them, because both were dual threat quarterbacks. Both, could pass, could run, Rich. Just can you talk about that dynamic?
I mean, it's really nice having a dual threat quarterback because, it keeps defenses always on their toes. It opens up the pass game and run game for running backs, the quarterback, and the receivers get the long ball a lot. It opens up everything. It's definitely a big key of our success the past couple of years.
Yeah. And you know what? You can't forget about the offensive line because
Yeah.
those guys don't get the due credit. They I want you to speak to that, Rich. That every year because you had guys graduating. So then, but it just seems like and I know Coach Gibbs had echoed this. His motto being next man up. Can you just talk about the offensive line and especially the job they did these last couple of years?
I mean, they did an amazing job, and you said as they cycle through every year, it seems like a new line.
Yeah.
That's a lot of coach guts. He's one of the best coaches I've ever seen. He every single year he brings somebody up that you wouldn't think would be good and just makes them a starter, and they do amazing.
Yeah, no, it's true. Uh, I almost lost my train of thought here, but you know what? I'll move on just to your training, and especially in the off season, because we all know it's a 24/7, 365. That's if you want to be cut out for this, you have to put in the hours. Of course, in the weight room, and said uh, on the field. Can you just talk about your regimen and just what you've been able to do? Said these last 4 years at Ramapo High School, Rich.
Well, obviously this year is a little bit different because
Yeah.
of our lockdown, but right when we could get out, we were out, and Coach Gibbs had something set up with us with Parisi's, and I already know the upcoming seniors and that group of kids are already working out. It's like a week after we get a break, and then we go right back into it.
Yeah. This is what almost forgot is that your talents are on the defensive side of the ball, Rich, and you took a lot of pride in that. And I saw that, especially this season, only if it was for a couple of games, how much, just the attention to detail and just, your presence on the defensive side. Can you just, talk about that as well?
I mean, I love defense. I mean, I had most experience there with my varsity career. I played sophomore year a little bit. I obviously started last year as a safety, and you know, I do take a lot of pride in that. I just love the position and playing defense.
I know that you earned a couple accolades this year. First team, so I think all county. If there are any other honors you want to mention, but to be recognized, for your hard work, I said on the football field. What did that mean to you personally, Rich?
I mean, it felt really good. It was the first time I've gotten all county, and I it's nice to be recognized and all the work you can see paid off.
Hey, I don't want to forget about the Ramapo High School administration, your athletic director, Ron Anello, um, the support that you received, from the athletic department, from, the administration, teachers. Can you talk about that as well, Rich?
I mean, you can tell they're all striving, hoping that we were going to get the full season, and obviously it didn't work out, but we were lucky to have them because they did help us get. I mean, 5 games. It may not seem a lot, but it's a lot more than a lot of other schools.
Yeah. Uh, you could see the last couple of years when you guys reached MetLife Stadium, but even at playing the home games, the tremendous support from students, from fans, and then of course the parents. I mean, how special is that? How much does that mean? And I just wanted to ask you what makes Rampo High School so special, and as well as the community up there in Franklin Lakes, Rich.
Well, the whole community just supports the team. We also have Franklin Lakes and Wyckoff,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that really helps. And
yeah.
both those rec programs come to our games. And I remember as a little kid watching in the bleachers, playing in the back. It's like a whole gathering. It's really good.
That's great. That's great. I know that as far as the college process, that you have committed to Rider University and for baseball. So, wanted to ask you just as far as that. I know you still, said hopefully we'll, with high school sports, coming up here next spring, we'll have a season. But can you just talk about that? As far are you going to be committing to baseball full time there at Rider, Rich?
Yeah, but I'm committed for baseball. Yeah.
Okay. I just was wondering, like, with sports and everything, like, I said baseball, football. Just when you were growing up, like, were those the two sports that you focused in on the most? Were there any other sports? I was just wondering about that, Rich.
I did play basketball up to my
Okay.
freshman year. We
Okay.
actually won the county championship for that too. But three sports ended up being a lot for me
Yeah.
throughout high school, so I ended up dropping that.
What makes the game of football so special for you, Rich? What is it? Some, again, just some of the, I mean, things, that we don't see. I mean, it just, I mean, we all know it's a true brotherhood. These guys, I mean, you go to battle with, season after season, and even after your career ends, you're still keeping in touch. But for you personally, what is it about, football that, high school football that, you'll remember the most?
I mean, definitely being with the team, you spend every day with these guys, fighting, grinding, just working your tail off with them, and that's just something you won't forget.
That's great. I said I can't forget about your family. If you want to talk about your parents, if you have any siblings, just the support that you received from them. I said your journey. From before high school, before attending Ramapo, and then of course during your 4 years here.
Yeah, they've been guiding me through the right path these past 4 years. It just helped me become the player and man I am today. I couldn't thank them enough.
That's great. That's great. I was wondering, Rich, if there are any running backs, and even on the defensive side of the ball, like whether it's in college or in the pros, that you sort of tried to emulate your game after, or just to pick up on subtle hints, and maybe some tidbits, and just try to apply that to your game as well.
I mean, I would always watch these players, and I'm a Jets fan, so we haven't had many good players. But I would I would watch Le'Veon Bell and try and take his patience a little bit, and just emulate those little things. Nothing too serious.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I can't thank you enough for the time, Rich. I was wondering, just as far as you mentioned about being younger at games, throwing the football around, and I remember it was last year that yeah, I mean during halftime, and you'd see all the kids from I guess the Pee Wee and the junior leagues, at the games there, and it was a really nice sight to see, just the younger kids there, but. Uh, what your message would be for younger kids, who are trying to, move up that ladder and, eventually one day want to put that, uniform on, just what your message would be, I said to younger athletes.
Put your head down and keep working. I mean, when I was playing rec, I remember I was always a lineman, and I may have not liked it, but they would always tell me keep fighting through it, and you'll end up being a position that you'll like in high school, and that it all pays off. And winning is the best thing ever. And whatever you can do to help the team, just do it. It'll be great in the end.
This is one question that just, popped up. What did it mean to put on that Ramapo high school football uniform every week?
It meant a lot. I mean, that R on your helmet, it's a legacy. A lot of NFL players or just great people have come through that program, and we were representing them, not just us.
How good is it? And I've seen it. Even I think it was at the Williamboro game. A lot of alumni coming back. I mean, just past couple of years, but even going, you've seen it. Like there are guys, from 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever it is, still, keeping in touch and like showing up at games. You see Chris Hogan, said, back here in the tri-state area. How good is that, with the support from the alumni, Rich?
I mean, it really makes our program. It shows that like we all are a family, and you don't leave them behind, and you always come back to check on them. And I mean, I know I will be when I'm older, just coming back, reminiscing, and getting back with the coaches.
Got to ask you about. I know it's still several months away, but you start thinking about graduation and what that day is going to be like, for you and your family, Rich.
I mean, it's gonna be a lot of mixed emotions. I haven't had the high school experience, I wish I had, but it was still an amazing experience to be with everybody and the friendships I created and all
Yeah.
the accomplishments I've made.
You know, Another thought entered my mind is that being a student athlete, Rich, that you have to balance, and I've asked that, said every player this, that it's not easy what you do. I mean, like, having to, you know, just go to class, and I mean, now it's different, of course, with remote, but uh, as far as hitting the books, and then you got to practice, then you got to play a game, that same repetition, same routine every week. And then we, of course, the off season as well with training. But just during the course of a school year, that commitment, to excellence and, trying to keep organized, as well and be responsible. Can you just speak to that element as well?
I mean, it's a lot of hard work. Back before quarantine, we would have school up till 3 and then a 3-hour practice.
Yeah,
Still got to eat and do all your homework. It's a grind, but it definitely pays off in the end.
that's great. Um, Is there anything I've left off the table, Rich? Because the floor is yours. That here at Ramapo High School, I said again, what you've been able to accomplish is just tremendous. Is there anything else you want to add? For the people out there.
Uh, just keep working. Not everything might go the way you want to, but just got to fight through it. It'll pay off in the end.
Sounds good. Hey, Rich, thank you so much again for the time. Wishing you, continued success. At Rider University. Just it's great to see, see what you've been able to do here. On the field, and I'll talk to you. I said soon. Then.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Just